Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session on transforming customer experience Flyby's migration to Amazon Connect. This session is a level 100, and today you'll learn more about Flyby's transform its customer service experience using Amazon Connect. It's my pleasure to welcome to stage Elias Saig and Matt Condi. Please give them a big round of applause.
What if you can enhance your customer experience at a lower cost? Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Elias. I'm a specialized solution architect at AWS, and I focus on Amazon Connect. And I'm joined on stage by Matt from Flyby's. Now, before we get into the talk of the Flyby's journey to Amazon Connect, I want to kind of level set, just give everyone an even ground of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a lot on AI and generative AI. What Amazon Connect has built into the platform is what we call Amazon Q. Now, if you think of Q as the analogy of James Bond, he goes to Q, gets all the cool gadgets. That's what Amazon Q in Connect is. So it's built into the platform, and every time we refer to that, it's just AI built in. Okay, so Matt, how about you take us through Flyby's, the journey and the history of the company?
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Elias, and hi, everyone. So my name's Matt. I'm a product manager here at Flyby's, and we wanted to introduce Flyby's to you before we get stuck into the details of how we transformed our service center onto Amazon Connect. I hope you enjoy this story, and hopefully it gives you something to think about as well. So Flyby's has been around for 30 years. We've been in Aussie phones and wallets for a long time, and we partner with some of Australia's most loved brands. A little brief history of Flyby's. So in 1994, Flyby's started, and in 6 weeks we already had 1 million members. In 2011 and 2012, we were purchased by Coles, and that's when we really started to get involved in the grocery market, working with Coles, and you probably have seen Flyby's if you're a Coles shopper before. In 2018, we partnered with Wesfarmers as well, and this was our foray into the retail market. And in 2021, we partnered with some of Wes's most loved brands, Officeworks and Bunnings. And now we're really operating with grocery and retail as a loyalty program. We now find ourselves here in 2025. We have 9.8 million active members. So we're a really big loyalty program with a lot of data and a lot of problems to solve. Our vision at Flyby's as an organisation is to help Australians get more of what they value beyond the checkout. And this is really our driving principle, not just for the work that we do in the service centre, but for our whole organisation. And this has helped us frame up what we're trying to do in our service and support world, making sure that we are helping Aussies get more of what they value when they reach out to us and seek customer support. So where are we today? Well, we are Australia's #1 favourite loyalty program. We operate in over 4,000 physical retailers. Every 2 in 3 households in Australia have a Flyby's card and a Flyby's account. And as I mentioned before, we have 9.8 million active members. All of this means that we have a lot of customers with a lot of issues that we need to help support in our service centre. We have a very lean team, some are here today, and we have some very old technology. And this presents some really unique challenges when it comes to customer service, which is why we wanted to explore what we could do with Amazon Connect. Before we got started in this transformation journey in customer service, we wanted to identify what the key problems are that we were trying to solve. And we summarize them in 3 key areas, and these are the 3 things that were really holding us back from achieving our vision in customer service. First of all, our high cost to serve. It is expensive for us to service our customers, and we have a lot of people contacting us, too many people contacting us, so we really need to think about how we could reduce that operational cost to serve. We have really complex environments at Flyby's, so we have some really legacy technology, and integrating with that technology is really challenging and tricky. Bringing technology in-house is helping us build those relationships and those connections between those legacy systems. And because of these, we have a lot of difficulty innovating. We've heard a lot this week about agentic AI and how customer service is going to be transformed with AI, and we want to be on the forefront of that. But if we don't have the right foundations, we're going to find that really, really challenging. So, innovation and setting up the foundation for innovation was really important for us at Flybuys. So before we got too deep into it, it was really important that we established what we were actually trying to achieve. So our little support squad, we set up our own target state vision to make it really clear to our team and the people that we were working with what we were actually setting out to achieve. We are committed to creating better member experiences. It is so important that when a member reaches out to us, they have a brilliant experience. We want to create great agent experiences. Customer service is not just about our customers, but it's also about our agents. So creating great experiences for our agents is critically important for us. We want to lower our operating cost base, and we also want to improve member insights across the business. Customer service is an insights hub waiting to be unlocked, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a little bit. Finally, a vision, it wasn't enough for us. We also wanted to make it measurable. Making it measurable is really critical in transformation projects. It helps us communicate the success of what we've done and also give some really tangible things that we're working towards. So some of the measures that we were looking out for during the transformation was reducing our technology cost by 50%, reducing our average handling time by 10%, reducing our volume by 10%, and these all have financial and experience drivers behind them that's going to really unlock things for Flybuys. We also had the opportunity in this project to start thinking about how we could measure team engagement and also member effort and satisfaction in our new platform. So not just moving the needle in the needles that we're already tracking, but creating some new needles as well. Now that we had a clear vision, we had some success metrics, we knew what we were working towards, this is when we started working with Elias and the team at AWS to start thinking about how Amazon Connect could help us solve some of these problems and move us into a great foundation for us to innovate in the future.
Excellent. And what Matt said there in terms of the challenges they faced is something we hear a lot in the industry. If you think about having a complex environment, the inability to innovate, these are very common. And it's so common that even from an Amazon perspective, we face that challenge. If I look back at Amazon retail, Amazon.com, back in the early 2000s when we were growing up as an organization, we needed a platform for customer engagement. And yes, we had a lot of customers reaching out to us, but the problems are across the industry. And really what it fundamentally came down to is, how do you measure a platform's benefit to the cost of what you pay? We couldn't overcome that challenge. No matter what tools, mechanisms we looked at, this concept of a license did not work. If I'm paying for an agent 24/7, I don't know about you guys, but I can't see this magical agent sitting there working 24/7. This doesn't work for me. And really that's the foundation of Amazon Connect. It's built out of our own needs, and it's now used across all of retail, across hundreds of thousands of agents. And if you break it down and distill it to its core principle, it's just like every other AWS service, it's consumption-based. What that really means is that as you get value, you speak to your customers, you're providing support, service, sales, then you pay a portion of that for the platform. If you don't, there is no cost there. So that means you can actually explore a lot more and not just get up and set up quickly, but you can innovate. And that's really the power that I tell customers whenever they come to us, and we're in a very privileged situation where they say, how do you constantly innovate? It's a two-part game. You need a platform that will reward you and be able to scale, and more importantly, scale down and have all this cool, innovative technology, but you also need that internal muscle. And we talked about Matt and how we brought in the team to sharpen that saw. That's something we talk a lot about at Amazon, and being able to look at new technologies, try and fail, and if you need to fail fast, do it in a safe location. And then holistically as an organization, you know where to go. To enable that, the platform has to be easy to use. So we build it on this pillar of simplicity. And you can see here, it's got that UI capability. A lot of the advanced features that we'll talk about here, whether they're Amazon Q, contact lens, automatic order evaluations, they're click of a button. As a business, I don't have to have a long conversation about licensing, maybe set up a SOW, maybe go to a business unit to do it. I can try it in a safe environment, see if I get value. Equally, if I move on to the next pillar, you want to derive and deliver these personalized experiences. We've all been in a contact center scenario as a customer. Every time you call in, hello, can you please press 1 for this, press 2 for that. They have all the information about you. Why can't they use that? Why can't they leverage that? Imagine if you call in today and you go, hey Elias, personalized greeting, are you calling about case 1, 2, 3? Oh, by the way, the person you spoke to last week, Bob, he's on a call right now. Those type of experiences are able when you bring all that capability into a platform like Amazon Connect. And then thirdly, AI. We'll talk a lot about this capability, and I'm sure you're hearing all about it, but actually applicable to a contact center. How we can greet you from a self-service perspective, shift that across with context to an agent for next best action, and then as a supervisor, get those insights. And then finally, there's no point us talking all these great features unless you have your managers, your supervisors, your executives getting value from the platform, understanding where they put those costs. And that comes directly from the analytics, being able to demonstrate value back into your business. Now Matt, can you take us through some of the problems and how you solve them?
Yeah, sure. So there's really 3 key areas that I think attributes to the success of our transformation project. The first is that we managed to implement Connect with a new internal product engineering team at Flybuys. It's the team that I work with, and they're amazing, and we work together to implement Connect, and we're really focused on member experience and support at Flybuys. Having our own team was really integral to the success of that transformation, which leads me to my second point. Those SMEs that we've now created in our team, they are experts, they are empowered, and they are able to now help us innovate and develop new capabilities in the future. So this team is now deeply involved in Amazon Connect and can really help us figure out how we can get the best out of our customer experiences and agent experiences. And finally, we managed to migrate our service center tech in only 7 months. That included all of our channels, and Elias will share a bit more about the breadth of what we had implemented. But because we had this internal team and the support with AWS and with our BPO, we managed to do that in just 7 months.
Excellent. So let's dive a little bit deeper into exactly what the Flybuys team managed to accomplish. And we'll look at it in 3 pillars. So first of all, we look at the channels. So from a capability, they have the entire stack, from voice, messaging, email, down to social. And then really how they bring that into the Amazon Connect platform was first of all leveraging our carriage. Diverse carrier capability allowed them to achieve carrier diversity and then introduce omni-channel routing. And where necessary, self-service. So those bots were deployed to be able to fulfill those actions, look up accounts and so forth, but equally know where they have their limits. Be able to pass with context to a human. Those humans now need to be forecasted, scheduled, so WFM was included and utilized from an Amazon Connect perspective. Because they use such a wide variety of channels, putting them all together was kind of necessary, and case management is that underlying leash that kind of puts it together. You have all these interactions across channels, they move to different teams to handle it until they're resolved. And then finally putting that wrapper, how are we performing? I think every customer gets asked this question is, what type of service are you providing as a business? And the metrication is very traditional in terms of speed to answer, being able to say, yes, our greatest service is good, but just because I picked up a call quickly does not mean I gave a good service. They might have called me 6 times to get something resolved. So now with conversational analytics, the team's able to look at the insights, to understand the journey that someone's taken through your organization, more importantly, the sentiment. Were they actually happy? Rather than just giving them a post-call survey of, hey, how do you rate us? I can now tell you came in aggravated and we did make a difference, or vice versa, and the opportunity there for learn for us. Equally providing that single view, and then lastly looking at providing that experience equally across all our agents. And that's the hard thing. You might have superstars in your contact center, but how do I measure them consistently? Because we're always measured by the lowest or less trained agents. So from an evaluation perspective, automation and what we call automated evaluations is able to assess even things like, did they build a rapport between the customer and the agent? Did they articulate the value of the customer? Did they do a compliance check? All that's done across the board. and then provide it back to the supervisors around, hey, here's your top performers, here's the ones that need training, and then use these conversations to actually bring everyone up to that high equilibrium. Lastly, we can't forget about our agents. I think since the dawn of contact centers, everyone was passing interactions to a contact center agent and saying, here you go, here's a phone, and speak to our customers about our deepest, most complicated matters, and we're going to measure you really fast. So now we can give them the tools. We give them a unified agent workspace. We have what we call Amazon Q as that agent sitting on the side, allowing and passing all the complex problems across to that human in the loop still, the agent's still there, reviewing it, but they're not having to search for actions. They're not having to stop and pause and put someone on hold and go, hey, Bob, can you help me on this? Q is there to give them that actions. And if it gets complicated, if they actually need to action the work, not just provide an answer, step-by-step guides comes in and carefully follows through every single step of the process and guides the agent in a very systematic way.
So, where are we now? We, as Elias mentioned, all of our channels are now in Connect. So that includes voice, chat, email, and social. Bringing all of our channels into one platform has really unlocked a lot for us. It allows us to get a unified view of our service center and what's taking place. We have a new chat widget that is fully built on Amazon Connect, a custom-built chat widget, and it's really paving the way for us to create generative AI experiences in the future. We're using a whole range of AI tools that are available in Amazon Connect, including Contact Lens and Q and Connect. Contact Lens helping us understand an individual customer interaction at scale. We get hundreds of thousands of interactions in a year, so being able to understand that at scale is critical. And as Elias mentioned, Q and Connect helping agents better reply to our customers' needs with greater consistency and accuracy. We have unprecedented insights in our service center. We have dashboards, reports, and Contact Lens helping us really understand exactly what is happening operationally in our service center and helping us identify opportunities for us to improve and change the experience based on what our customers are doing and saying. And finally, as I mentioned at the start, we set out to reduce our technology costs by 50%, and we're really pleased to say that we have already managed to do that with Amazon Connect. We have seen a 50% reduction in our platform costs, and this is predominantly due to Amazon's simplified unlimited AI pricing model. That pricing model allows us to use Connect at a low rate, but we have the opportunity to innovate and implement Gen AI experiences without having to go through business cases and additional financial approval, because all of the AI capability is included in that platform cost. So that means we're really sitting at this great foundation for where we can go next with Amazon Connect. And that's what we wanted to talk a little bit about now. So I wanted to share what's next for us at Flybuys. Now that we've got this great AI-powered contact center platform, where are we headed? We have 3 key areas that we want to be continuing to innovate, and we'll share some specifics in these in a moment, but really we see AI helping us optimize our agent operations. How can we make them more efficient and solve problems with deeper connection, but with the help of AI? How do we enhance our member experience? Customers just want their problem solved. And it's no surprise, based on what we've heard at Summit, that there are lots of ways that AI can help us solve our customer problems, and we see that as critical in the Flybuys journey. And we want to continue unlocking rich insights in our service center. As I mentioned before, service centers are just insight hubs waiting to be unlocked. There is so much natural language data about your businesses in your service center, and we really want to unlock that for Flybuys and help enable our product teams and our decision makers with information that we're collecting from our customers and our agents in our service center platform. And all of these 3 things are made possible because of Amazon Q and Connect, which is the framework that we're using and the tool that we're using within Connect to really unlock our AI capabilities.
And if we dive a little bit deeper into how we start using Amazon Q in Connect, you start off with creating what we call AI agents. Think of this as a persona. an entity in your business that's going to be sales, support, customer service, whatever the use case is. And you enable them with AI prompts. Everyone hopefully is familiar with this term. What it is boundaries spoken in pure English. You're going to be a polite, conversational assistant. You're going to be working for flybys. You're going to be answering everything in sales. Here's some documents to state boundaries within. And then obviously finish off with what we call AI guardrails. Topics and limitations of where you can complete and have the conversation is, but if it starts to get beyond that, then pass it over to a human for assistance. Now, a lot of conversations that I've been having recently, obviously, as you can imagine, is around AI and how we actually go to that nirvana state. I think there's been a promise in the industry for quite some time that maybe in the early days of what we call V1 bots, that we're going to get there. And it all started around these type of conversations, where we look at very highly structured conversations. Hey, can you look up my account? Can I pay a bill? Even though they're simple, they're actually quite useful to be able to get your hands on an experiment from a generative AI perspective. And we actually encourage this early on to build that muscle with these kind of examples. Then slowly start moving more into a mixed mode conversation. And finally, where generative AI is really excelling in is that highly fluid. You come in with one question, maybe ask a second, you pivot as a result, maybe go back. But you can't jump to that final state until you understand your environment, your solutions, your capabilities. So that experimentation is really important. And we'll show you how flybys are looking at it from their perspective.
I've been really struck at Summit thinking about agentic AI, and there's been a lot of talks about it. And we've been thinking about AI at Flybys similarly and trying to break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces that where AI can have a specific job to solve a specific problem. And I wanted to share a little bit about how we're thinking about this problem in these 3 different modes with AI. We're also customer and problem obsessed at Flybys. So we don't just want to find AI features that we can implement in front of our members, but we really want to understand where the problems lie and then see if AI is the right tool to help solve that problem. I think that's critically important to the success of implementing AI in your business. So for us, we've noticed that agents are capturing the contact reason, and this is increasing their handling time, their post-contact work time. It's not always super accurate, and it's based on their interpretation of the conversation. That's a problem that we think AI can help solve. So we're looking at building a contact reason and call outcome bot, whose job it is to figure out exactly from a transcript why that customer called us, what the outcome was, and that becomes some really valuable data points that we can report on and provide insight to the business. We also noticed that members don't always clearly articulate their problem in 5 words or less in a really succinct way that's super easy to understand. So we're looking at solving that problem by building a how can I help you bot. And this bot is designed to figure out exactly why the customer has reached out to us. And as Ellie's mentioned, asking follow-up questions to figure out exactly what that customer wants and what that customer needs so that we can deal with that customer appropriately. We can route them to the right channel. We can provide them with the right information. We have lots of customers contacting us about stuff that they probably don't need to contact us about. So we can start dealing with those unique use cases with once we can really figure out exactly why someone has contacted us. And finally, and maybe most obviously, we want AI to be actually helping solve customer problems, not just guiding them on a path to be connected with an agent. So we want to be creating an AI agent assistant that can actually speak to Flybys systems and act on behalf of the member to help solve their problem. It's critically important for us at Flybys to not remove the human element from customer service. So we are really committed to trying to allow AI to step aside and the human agent to step in at the right time. That human interaction is so important for complex issues and cases. So that's one of the things that we're thinking about when building full agentic AI assistance is when does the human get involved to help resolve that customer's query. And that's where highly fluid AI models is really going to help us make some of those decisions.
Excellent. And as a wrapping point, I wanted to sort of leave you with these kind of closing thoughts. If you look at this concept of a flywheel, anyone who's been around AWS, Amazon will know it. And it's something that Jeff, when he started Amazon himself, kind of had this notion of how we can provide value. From an Amazon Connect, a platform, we follow a very similar principle. And it's all about us from a platform perspective giving you options as customers. As you adopt and take on those options and then you provide it back to your customers, you obviously increase usage. And that starts a second flywheel. Because we gain economies of scale on the back of that, we reduce the price of the platform and off we go. Now put that together as a platform with your innovation and your team culture, that's how you innovate at pace. You have to create this culture of experimentation. You have to look at use cases in your businesses that are causing you problems. Where time is being spent as your agents, break them down, distill them into small problems. Yes, every organization, whether financial services to an SMB, will always get bogged down into perhaps security, maybe it's other teams that you rely on, but try to find those small use cases and experiment with them. Because without building that muscle, it becomes really hard to just go from nothing to bleeding edge. You need a platform that will allow that flexibility, that consumption-based pricing that we talked about. So as you enable these features, you disable them, you're not incumbent in any way, and then that culture of innovation. From how do you achieve these use cases? Hopefully this is not too foreign to everyone. Start small. Start with a specific business, maybe an internal use case. A lot of the time I engage with my customers, it's always the IT help desk. You know, it's a safe environment, we can play there, do a proof of concept, you can even pilot it out into production traffic, and once you do, you get those measures, learn from it, and quickly productionize it. But don't forget to go back and continue that loop. Without that loop, it's just a one-off use case that you leave there, and you never get to eventually building on. So in this world of AI, start small and keep building. If you want to actually see a lot of the things that Matt and I talked about in action, we've got the Amazon Connect booth. It's right in the proving grounds. We've got 2 demonstrations from an FSI retail perspective that talks about agent AIs being able to handle those interactions, agents in terms of humans being able to get that next best action all the way to the supervisors. Love to take you through. Thank you very much. Thank you.